Welcome to the channel. I'm Stacy, and my goal here is to help you to play better and sound better in your worship services. Today we're going to go over the parts for the song Who Else by Gateway Worship. This one plays off a few different chord shapes. We have the D shape up here at the 8th and 9th fret, the F shape down here barred at the 4th fret, and then an A shape up here barred at the 11th fret. We don't come in until the first chorus, and we've got a fun little part to play. This lead line is going to come off of that D shape. We're going to be fretting the B string at the 9th fret, sliding it up to the 11th, back down to the 9th, and then we're going to pick the G string at the 8th, slide it down to the 6th, and then pick the note at the 5th fret. It'll sound like this. We do that 3 times, and then we do a slight departure from that. We're going to pick the 9th fret on the B string, slide it up to the 11th, back down to the 9th. We're going to pick that one more time on the 9th fret, slide it up to the 14th, and then strike the note on the 13th fret B string. We're going to play that 2 times. The first time you want to pick it lightly so that your repeats don't come off too strong. And then the second time you want to go ahead and add that energy so that you've got a little bit more energy coming off, a little bit more body coming off of those notes. So with the effects, it'll sound like this. And coming out of that, we're going to be going into verse 2, and that part is arpeggios. We're going to be playing based around that F-shaped A flat down here at the 4th fret. We're going to be fretting the D, G, and B strings at the 6th, 5th, and 4th frets. We're going to pick that through D, G, B, and then D, G, D, B, D. So it'll sound like this, and then we're going to be walking through a few different positions. Once we finish that one time, then we're going to go down to the D string being fretted at the 5th fret. So D is at the 5th, G is at the 5th, B is at the 4th. So the G and the B aren't going to change where they're fretted, but they will change what finger you use to fret them. And for this one, we run through that same progression. And then we're walking down that D string from the 5th fret to the 3rd fret. And this is just a partial on that arpeggio. We're going to come back up to that 5th fret. That's going to be another partial. And then we're going to fret the A string at the 4th fret, and we're going to do that full arpeggio. And then the whole thing repeats. When it does end for the second pass, when we're on that A string at the 4th fret, we run it a lot shorter. So it's just going to be the A string, the G, the B, and then we're going to go ahead and let that ring as we transition into the next chorus. So I'll run through the whole arpeggio without the effects, and then I'll kick on the effects. For this one, they've got a vibe effect, real subtle in there, but it adds just a little bit of swirl. But without the effects, it'll sound like this. And I'll run through it the second time. So that's how that concludes the first time. I'll run through it the second time with the effects, and I will wrap it up the way that it is on the recording. Coming out of that, we're going into another chorus. And so for this one, we're going to pick it with a stronger pick attack like we did the second pass on the first chorus. And it's the same part. So we're just sliding up 9th fret to the 11th, back to the 9th on the B string, the G string, picking on the 8th, slide it down to the 6th, and then strike the note on the 5th fret, and then wrapping that part up, 9, 11, 9 on the B, and then 9 to the 14th, down to the 13th. We run through that whole section 4 times, and 2 times we run through it without anything changing as far as our drive section, and then the second 2 passes, we kick on our overdrive for that. And after that chorus, we're going to be in a down part, and then we're going to come in a little bit into the bridge. So we're going to be fretting in on the 9th fret on the B string. We're going to pick that 4 times, and then we have this little walk down that'll be repeated through the bridge. The high E at the 13th, the 11th, the B at the 9th, and the G at the 8th. And then we're going to fret the G at the 10th, the B at the 8th, the B at the 9th, and then that walk down again. We're going to repeat that part, but this time when we hit the high E at the 13th fret, we're going to kick on our overdrive. Then we're going to be back on the 10th fret G string, and then the 8th fret G string, the 8th fret B, and then we're going to fret the 9th fret B, and then we're going to do a walk up, the 11th on the B, the 13th on the B, and then that same walk down on the high E, 13, 11, the B at the 9th, the B at the 8th. And then we come in and we're going to fret the G string at the 10th fret, but now we're going to be playing 8th notes. So we're going to pick that. We're going to hit on the G string at the 8th fret, and then the B string at the 8th fret. And then we're going to hit on the B at the 11th, and then the 9th, and then the 13th and the 11th. And it'll sound like this. So I'll run through that whole bridge part with the effects, and you can hear how that'll sound. Right after that, we're in our last chorus section. And so it's a slight change from what we were doing before. Instead of the pick and slide on the 9th fret to the 11th back to the 9th, we're going to pick our B string at the 9th fret, hammer on at the 11th, and then pick again at the 9th fret. Also for this, we're going to kick down to our bridge pickup just to give us a little bit more punch in the mix. So without the effects, it'll sound like this. We do that 3 times, and then on the 4th time, this is also different. We're going to pick the 9th fret on the B string, hammer onto the 11th. We're going to pick the 11th, and then we're going to pick the 9th again, slide that up to the 14th, down, pick the 13th 5 times. So we pick it once and then a 4 count. And now when we go back to repeat the chorus, we're going to do that same hammer on the B string, slide on the G string from the 8th to the 6th, and then we're going to emphasize that 5th fret. So I did it the same all 3 times on the cover video that I did, and then the tabs are going to show it the same way as well, but you can mix that up however you like. On the recording, I think there was one section where they might have done a little half-step bend. You can drive it the same, picking it 5 total times like we're doing on that final run. But whatever you like to do there. And so I'll run through it with all the effects so you can hear how that comes across. That section where we are running up and driving that 13th fret on the B string, we're going to go through that 2 more times as a tag before we go into our outro chorus. For that, we're going to be down here fretting our D string at the 6th, G at the 5th, B and high E at the 4th. We're going to rake that. That's an A flat. And then an A flat sus4 or a D flat sus2. It's the same, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what we're going to rake anyway for the 2nd chord. And then an F minor, fretting the G at the 5th, the B at the 6th, and the high E at the 4th. Back to that A flat sus4, back to the A flat. We're going to be running through that tag part 3 times, not 2 times. So I'll run through that and then into that outro chorus. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, subscribe and hit that like button for good measure. If you'd like the resources for this song, you can find them at a link in the description box below. There are a handful of downloads free for you in there as well. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one.